I just picked up this GPZ 750 turbo. I'm not sure if it will run or not. It's pretty much complete. I do have the seat. It's just not installed right now. It was last registered in 1989. I hooked 12 volts up to the battery terminals, and not a lot happened. Some indicator lights came on, but no action when I pushed the start button. And I realized then that the whole left hand switch had been cut, all the wires. So I disconnected the plug from the harness of the bike, and I'm going to splice these back together, and hopefully that will cause some positive progress. Maybe an angry husband or wife back in 1989 decided that a motorcycle wasn't the best thing for their significant other. Look at that, good as new. I think I have every color where it needs to be, so now I will plug this back into the harness and see what happens. I got it to turn over, but the fuel pump wasn't working because the gas tank was filled with rust and old gasoline from 1989, so the fuel pump was completely frozen. I removed the tank and drained the gasoline, and I have the fuel pump soaking in some fresh gasoline. Maybe that will free it. It may just turn out to be a parts bike, sadly. My next step is to clean the rat's nest out of the cylinder head, and while we wait for the gas to soak into the fuel pump, I think I'm going to remove all the spark plugs and check for spark. That will give me some indication of whether the ignition system and the computer is working as it should. I got most of the old rat's nest out of the cylinder head. Now I'm going to use some air and blow the rest out. Maybe we'll atomize the hantavirus. I'll stand back. Well, that's a good sign. There's my fuel filter installed. After soaking it overnight in paint thinner, I applied power to it. It didn't turn at first, but I could hear something. I could hear a hum like the motor was stuck, but it wanted to turn, so I bounced power off of the terminals, meaning I applied and took voltage away quickly, and then I reversed the polarity, trying to make it spin backwards, trying to free up the motor from all the years of accumulated varnish, and then eventually it broke free. So now we have a working fuel pump. I also have a battery. It's not for this motorcycle, but it will work. It's a little bit big, so it's nothing I can ride the motorcycle with, but it will serve as a test battery just to see if the motor will start. I actually hooked up the battery and the gas tank and tried to start it. The starter works, the solenoid works, but no ignition, no running. So I took out the fuel injectors. They were all frozen. I applied voltage to them and nothing happened. So I soaked all 4 of them in gasoline, and still really nothing. So as a last ditch effort, I took a wire and pushed on the pintle, I think it's called, trying to free them, and I got all 4 of them loose. Now when I apply voltage, they click and open up their solenoid valve. So now I have spark, and I have 4 clean not clean injectors, working injectors, and a fuel pump that works. So as long as everything happens at the right time, it should run. Here's the injector working. I'll apply voltage to both terminals and I'll hear it click. And I don't know if you can see the valve opening. I see a little shot of gas that came out of there. So all 4 injectors work. Time to put it together and see what happens. Everything back together. Well, enough together to make it theoretically run. Battery hooked up. Fuel tank installed. Let's give it a try. Well, that was something.